What's up, guys? Well, we made it through. Buffalo didn't make it too easy, but they got it done. But against the Saints, you were kind of hoping for a non-sweat week, but we definitely had a little bit of a scare late in the third quarter when Cooks looked like he may have caught a touchdown, but ended up getting overturned. But that's the reality of the NFL. It's why Survivor is so hard. The worst team in the league can be the best team in the league on any given Sunday. It's definitely possible. For a brief moment there, I was thinking in my mind, am I really going to have to come up here and make a video about how we lost on Buffalo in week 4 to the Saints at home? But we made it through, so you can't complain. It's surviving in advance. That's what this game is, so we made it. As for the rest of week 4, I mean, the only thing of note that really happened was the Giants upsetting the Chargers, and I did mention to stay away from that one with Jackson Dart starting. It was more the defense for the Giants that came through there, but Jackson Dart kind of just provided that juice for the team and their mojo, so I think that's what got them through. Everything else kind of went through. There wasn't really any big scares. I mean, if you were on Green Bay against the Cowboys, that was a kind of a back and forth game that went into overtime. But a tie doesn't eliminate you, at least in the DraftKings pool. I think most of them ties don't eliminate you, but in the DraftKings pool for sure, you don't get eliminated for a tie. So the only real knockout was the Chargers, and that was about 5.5%. I was wishing it was more, but I think the Jackson Dart start definitely scared a few people away. But we survived on Buffalo, so on to the next week, week 5. So we're back on survivorgrid.com, and I've checked off all the one we used so far. So Buffalo, Baltimore, Seattle, and Denver. There's a few teams on a bye this week, so I won't be able to use them. And we'll just go right up to the top and take a look at Arizona versus Tennessee. Looks like 25% of the pool estimated going to be on that one. Cam Ward and the Titans have not looked good whatsoever. But in that press conference, they seemed a little pissed off, and I think they're going to want to have a little bit of a statement. And as I've said in previous videos, I'm not too trustworthy of Arizona. But a lot of people are going to like this one because of the future value here. You're probably not going to have another comfortable pick on Arizona for the rest of the year. So I could see why people are going to be enticed with that. But once again, I just don't trust Arizona. They give me the scaries, and eventually Tennessee is going to win a game. But that's a 7.5 point favorite there for Arizona. But I'm going to avoid that one. Next one, Detroit. They've started to kick it into gear. And against Cincinnati, at Cincinnati, Jake Browning has just been awful, and it seems like they're going to keep going with him. They haven't made any trades yet. I'm assuming at some point they're going to have to trade for another quarterback. But for right now, that one definitely looks enticing, especially if you haven't picked Detroit yet. We haven't. Next one is Indy against the Raiders. This one I'm kind of a little worried about because Indianapolis, they have a really good O-line, and they've been able to protect Daniel Jones, and obviously they can run the ball well with Jonathan Taylor. But this one gives me a little bit of worry because Pete Carroll always has had a good defense, and he might be able to devise a game plan to get after Indianapolis and Daniel Jones. So I'm going to stay clear of that one as well. Buffalo, we can't use, obviously. You can see why people might want to go on that one, but it doesn't really help me to talk about that. That one we can't pick. Next, we got the Chiefs at Jacksonville. And it looks like the Chiefs are starting to find their stride here a little bit, but Jacksonville's good too. So I know Spags always has a good game plan against good quarterbacks, but this one I think is too much of a close pick this early in the season to go on. Minnesota, people might pick this one, but once again, kind of the same scenario as last week with the Giants. Dylan Gabriel is supposed to start now. And it doesn't even have to be that he is going to be good. It just injects the team with some juice to go out and get a win. And Cleveland hasn't looked terrible this year. They've had some missed opportunities, but they've already shown they could beat the Packers. And this is just a game that I am not going to go on. Estimating at 3.5%, that's more than I would have thought would go on this game. Next, you have the Rams and the Niners. And the Rams look good this year. But the only thing that worries me is Shanahan has had the upper hand on McVay in terms of coaching in this rivalry. So even though it's a 7.5 point spread, I could see why only 3.5% are going on this, because Shanahan has shown that he can outcoach McVay, and they're both good coaches. But this is a rivalry game on Thursday night. I don't want to pick Thursday night. I don't want to sit there and sweat my Thursday night. I'd rather just watch this game in peace and quiet. So I know that's not a reason not to pick it, but I'm avoiding it because Shanahan has had good game plans against McVay. And then the rest of these, we're kind of getting into, pick 'em territory. I mean, the Jets desperately need a win. The Dallas defense is probably the worst in the NFL. They get lit up like a Christmas tree, but they still find ways to win games. But I ain't touching Dallas. No way. And the Giants, I think they opened up as a favorite, but now it's up to, now they're an underdog here. I mean, you assume 3 points at home, so you could take it as you see it. But some people are going to start picking some of these games just because it's an opportunity to use the Giants. They have zero future value. But like I said, I tend to be survive in advance. I'll worry about the hard picks later in the season. You got to get there first, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to avoid the Giants this week. Philly, Denver, it can go either way. Philly, it's funny. They haven't been playing their best, but they're still winning games. So, but Denver's good. Their defense is good. I'm going to avoid it because there's probably going to be opportunities to pick Philly down the road. This is a game that I wouldn't want to use Philly on. There's better opportunities to use Philly on, so I'm going to avoid that. Then the rest of these, I'm going to just avoid altogether. Could probably tell my pick of the week, it's going to be Detroit here. I think this is the best pick of the week, the safest pick of the week. If you already picked Detroit, you can look elsewhere, but I think this one should be good. Detroit's running the ball well, and if they get up on Cincy early, I just can't see Jake Browning throwing down the field with Detroit sitting back in their defense, just waiting for him to make a mistake. And also, the pass rush for Detroit, I think, will put pressure on Browning, and he hasn't shown the ability to handle any pressure whatsoever in his 2 games that he's played so far. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I think it's the safe pick this week. I think that it should be sweat-free, but we thought Buffalo would be sweat-free, and we had a little scare there. But Detroit's going to be my pick for the week. Hopefully we see you guys for week 6. I hope it's sweat-free. Don't come at me if it's not. This is the reality of Survivor. Anything could be sweat, but 10.5 points is pretty good spread. We're going to lock it in, and let me know what you guys are picking, why I shouldn't pick Detroit or why I should pick Detroit. Do you like Detroit? But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. And like, comment, and subscribe. And I think we'll see you for week 6, but you never know.